Hey there, welcome back to the Luxury State of Mind podcast. On this podcast, the goal is to encourage you to live in luxury every single day. And by living in luxury, that just means living in authenticity. So, my main goal is to encourage women to accept and to showcase their gifts and talents in the world so that they can live more authentically as well as live that way in their personal lives and their careers. So, on this podcast, I've been talking a lot about courage. We've been doing a courage series where I shared some of my failures or mishaps that happened this year in regards to taking a leap and doing something courageous, such as hosting a really big event, partnering with a huge organization, and the event not happening. So, for the last couple of weeks, this is actually going to be the eighth week that I've been sharing about this and different lessons that I've learned. I've been sharing again the different things that I've learned from that whole process in hopes that it encourages you that if you have something that you want to do ahead of you, or something that seems challenging, or you are not sure how to move forward, I'm hoping that these tips are giving you that courage to be able to move forward so you can start seeing some greater, bigger results in your life and get that value from your experiences. So, on this part of the series, and quite honestly, at this point, I'm just kind of sharing different lessons and things that I've experienced even afterwards as well, just to encourage you. But on this particular episode, we're going to be talking about building momentum, how to actually build momentum that gives you real results in your life. I don't know if you're like me or have been like me, where you're the type that feels you have to have everything in order to take a step, or you are doing something like you're taking action, but it's not really the action that you need to take that's going to create real progress in your life. So, my goal, and a lot of the things that I talk about on this podcast, is to help you not to stay stuck. Because for me, I was stuck for many, many years in the wrong career, doing the just things that just didn't align with who I was. And I was making progress, but I was not making progress that I could actually measure on a year to year basis. So life looked the same. And part of that was because I kept doing things that didn't necessarily matter. For example, I want to create a podcast, right? I would focus so much on having the perfect website or having the logo correct or the colors correct, but not actually consistently making the content that would actually connect with people. Or maybe I'm thinking I need to create a resume. Let's say I want to do speaking, right? Oh, I have to create, and this is actually something that somebody said to me, that I need to create a speaking resume. I need to like write that out and, do all those things, and then I'll get hired for speaking. And I'm like, sister, you need to be speaking. That's the work that needs to be done, not just writing something on paper and giving it to somebody. No, people actually want to see you speaking on a stage. They want to see how you interact with an audience. They want to see what you're doing, how you're presenting. That's what people want to see, and that's good, is what's going to push the results and move things forward for you. So I'll give you an example actually of something that happened this week. And this topic was actually something that was requested by one of my clients. Because this week we've actually been speaking about momentum. And, she has been amazing. I'm going to have her on the podcast at some point, but she literally was afraid to be a speaker, or to say she was a speaker, didn't have the confidence to say it. She came to my personal branding workshop, and that was the first time after that workshop she was able to say she's a speaker. And then from there, she's done amazing things, kind of worked together to help her get out there, to stop hiding and to start speaking. And part of that work has looked like being able, for one, to say she's a speaker, not just to herself, not just to anybody, but people that can actually get her in the room and get her on stages. So she's had the opportunity to speak at two universities, or at the same university twice, and is on a roll to do bigger and greater things. I had shared with her that in order to get speaking engagements, you have to get the content. Because again, talking about resumes and all these things is like, no, people want to see what it is that you are doing. If you want to get more speaking engagements, you need to get content, to film yourself, to let people see how you speak on stage. Well, my client took it to the next level. She got herself a videographer and photographer to come with her to the speaking engagement, to then go and film her speaking, created great content, and was able to share it on her social media pages. So then what was interesting was after she did this amazing thing, we're celebrating, we're exciting, we're like, "Oh my gosh," or exciting. We were celebrating and we're super excited that she was able to do this. And she was like, "Well, I just had to create a website. I have to do this, I have to do that." Now, granted, in speaking, you do need a website. And that was a process that I've learned as well, that you do need some kind of website or somewhere that people can see what you've been doing in the past. And, she went on a tangent of other things that she felt she needed to include. And I'm like, girl, you don't need that in order to get another speaking engagement tomorrow. And that's the thing. We'll focus on the things that are good, but aren't going to move the needle. What's going to move the needle is who can you get in contact with? Who do you know? Give me 5 to 10 people that you can reach out to within your network that can help you get in the rooms that will allow you to get more speaking engagements. Who do you know on your LinkedIn network that will actually get you in the room? That's the real work. Who can you reach out to? It's like, even for me, like something that I'm learning too when it comes to business. Sometimes we'll create all these pretty plans and have all these things, but if we haven't actually sold anything to anybody, then we are not going to be making much progress. We just have a pretty talk or we have a pretty product, but nobody that we've sold it to, and then we're not seeing that progress. So I told her that, hey, give me a list of 5 to 10 people that you can reach out to, make that list and start reaching out to them. The second thing that you want to do when you want to create momentum, especially when you get new results, is you need to have an action plan behind what you're doing. So it's all good to say that, okay, I have this plan. I'm going to do this. This is what I want to do. But just like I tell myself, and I told her that if you don't have it on a calendar or somewhere written down, it will not get done. Sometimes we aren't able to see progress in what we're doing or moving forward because we haven't actually had a game plan, some kind of implementation plan that supports our goals. We haven't put down anything on paper or some kind of structure that's going to hold us accountable to do what is actually going to help us move forward. So first thing is we need to focus on what is actually going to move the needle forward. Does that mean we need to actually pitch to 20 people by the end of the week? Do we need to be calling somebody that's in charge of conferences? If let's say we want to get on the stage, do we need to be going to this particular networking event where our clients are going to be? And that's actually something that I'm also going to be doing more of. But are we putting ourselves in the environments that are going to give us the results that we're looking for versus I'm just going to make this logo on Canva, which by the way, you could pay somebody to do that. You could literally go on Fiverr or have anybody that you know that does graphic designing work to do that for you versus you spinning your wheels to do that. But we'll save that for another day. Everything always seems so urgent, but in reality, it's not. And we get bogged down in the work that really just doesn't matter. So really focusing first on what matters. And then two, when you realize what is important and how you can move the needle forward, how can you create some kind of implementation plan that will hold you accountable to be able to do the actions necessary that will do or create the results that it is that you're looking for. Just an example for me, every Monday, I've talked about this on this podcast so much about the prayer call that I join. One of the things that they've taught and that we do on Mondays is plan our week. I used to be somebody who really wanted to plan my week, and I used to have some long, elaborate way of doing it, but I've changed that. I don't work like that anymore. I can typically plan my week in about 20 minutes or so, and maybe sometimes 30, give or take, if there's a lot of things going on. But ultimately, there is a system in place that constantly I'm learning to refine, to grow, and to get better at, realizing what is the important things I need to do that will push me forward to where I want to go. I recently went to a lunch with coworkers, and I shared with them, some things that I was up to, and they were like, "How do you get all this done? How do you do all this while you're working?" And really, it is making sure I'm doing the things that I know will actually give me the largest results. So I don't focus on 10 different things to do in a day. I focus on the 1 to 2, max 3 things that I can do. But if I could only do one, what is that one thing that I could do that again would give me the biggest bang for my buck, the biggest results. So again, that could look like, do I need to reach out to these certain people, a number of people? Is there, um, some some kind of content that I need to create? Is there some kind of workshop? That's actually something that I'm thinking would be a good thing to work on, just to get more people into the no luxury state of mind and all that. But we'll get to that on another day. I'll probably announce that soon. But is there something that I can be doing that will make sure I'm getting the results that I'm looking for? So in order to gain that momentum, you just have to know, okay, I know, and I'll say this too with that. It's most likely going to be the thing that you don't really want to do, right? It's the scary thing. It's the thing that's like, ooh, do I really have to do this? I don't really want to do this. Like it's the thing that makes you put yourself out there. It's the thing that makes you possibly get rejected. It's the thing that takes a lot of courage for you to even message that person or ask that person. It's vulnerable to go out there and put yourself out there with people that you know or that you don't know, to expose your dream, your gift to people. Those things that when you think about it, you're like, ooh, yeah, that's the thing. That will help you get that momentum to create more progress and more opportunities in your life. And I've found that when you are able to overcome that fear, when you're able to just do it anyways, whatever it looks like, you gain more confidence to be able to do new and bigger things. And I found that true for myself. I've challenged myself to be able to do the things that are hard because I know that it's going to get me the best results. And there's always going to be new levels of hard. There's always going to be new levels of new things to do. But in the place where I am today, how can I just do what I can that will help again get the results that I'm looking for, even if it seems like scary, jump scary. So ultimately, that is how you create more momentum. You, again, first thing is first, you identify the things that will actually create progress for where it is that you're trying to go, what you're trying to do, the things that will actually create progress, not things that allow you to keep hiding, not things that allow you to still be in the background, that look like work, but it's not real work. So, but you're going to do those things, one. And two, you're going to create some kind of implementation plan. And fun fact, if that implementation plan is something that you are interested in learning more about, or you're like, oh my gosh, I mean, how do I do this? What does this look like? I actually have a workbook that I created just for you, and it's called Time on Your Terms. And ultimately, it actually outlines my process of how I'm able to basically achieve many things while having my hands in many different places, such as having a full time job, being able to create this podcast, as well as create content and speak and create events. So many things that I'm able to do, but it's because of a strong implementation plan. So that's something that's interesting to you. I will link that in the description and you can take a look and purchase that workshop or that workbook. I'm considering making it a workshop as well for those of us who want to be held accountable on next steps, actions on what we plan on doing, and just kind of adding it to the overall coaching plan that I've been doing with some clients, such as my client who is working on her speaking. So let me know if that's something that's interesting to you. You can leave that in the comments below. All right. I will talk to you on the next episode of Luxury State of Mind. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope this is encouraging to you. And if you need help in this area, let me know in the comments. And I would love to address it and to see how I can better assist you so you can really start seeing those results that you want to see in your life and seeing more and more progress. All right. Thank you so much for listening. And I will speak to you another time. Bye.